Hello, come in. Hi, nice to see you again. Sort of gradually getting back into the new things of the new year. I've been dipping back, as you know, into Tennyson. I wanted to show you something here. This, can you see this? This were various sets of things. That's my Samuel Johnson. That's some bits of the Spectators. But this, you can see some of them are a bit damaged. This set of 10 leather-bound volumes of Tennyson, the complete works of Tennyson, are especially dear to me because they were the first sort of foray for me as a young man into buying books I knew I would have for life and cared about. They're the first set of books I bought. I'm going to take out volume 2 because I want to read it to you. But let's just have a quick look at it. The set of 10, leather bound, I bought them in 1978, the year I turned 21. In fact, I used some of my 21st birthday money to do it. It was a lot of money in those days. It was not a lot. Now it was £25 it was. But I thought, I'll have these all my life. And here am I at the age of 63. And, I don't know how many people my age have still got something really tangible and nice from their 21st birthday that they chose themselves. Anyway, this is volume 2 because it's got the poem in it I want to read. But it was a gathering of his work in 1888, so while he was still alive. Wonderful, heroic portrait of Tennyson. Anyway, have a seat. Now, last time you dropped round, we were having the second of our Epiphany poems, and I read Yeats's The Magi, but then I read my own Magi poem, which you may remember, I just got it here from Sounding the Seasons, you may remember ended, I said, just before I read it, I said, the ending of this poem is a little nod in the direction of Tennyson's Ulysses, and you remember my sonnet on the journey of these old men exploring, still seeking, passing the boundaries of their own lands, questing to find Christ. I ended my poem, their courage gives our questing hearts a voice to seek, to find, to worship, to rejoice. And of course, with that ending, I was riffing on the ending of Tennyson's great poem, Ulysses, which people often read in the new year because it's so much about stirring up and leaving the old behind and making new beginnings. So I thought, by way of homage to Tennyson, I'd read you the whole of that poem so you'd see where my final line was coming from or what it was echoing. This is an extraordinary poem because Tennyson was actually it's voiced for an old man. I mean, as you know, it's voiced for that Ulysses, the great hero of the Odyssey, who's come back from the Trojan Wars after all his adventures and come back to Ithaca and settled at home and you think job done. He can rest on his laurels. But actually, Tennyson picks up a myth, an idea, a legend, which is also in Dante, in the Inferno, that the sort of wanderlust was still there, the questing spirit, the need to keep voyaging beyond the known horizon. And that in his old age, Ulysses gathered up all his old companions, the survivors, the old men survivors of those heroic early adventures, and they set off on one final adventure together. And so Tennyson's poem voices that. It's the voice of Ulysses himself speaking about his discontent with merely resting on the laurels and his desire to go out on a fresh adventure. Seems like a good poem for the beginning of a new year. Ulysses. It little profits that an idle king by this still hearth among these barren crags, matched with an aged wife, I mete and dole unequal laws unto a savage race that hoard and sleep and feed and know not me. I cannot rest from travel. I will drink life to the lees. All times I have enjoyed greatly, have suffered greatly, both with those that loved me and alone on shore, and when through scudding drifts the rainy Hyades vexed the dim sea. I am become a name for always roaming with a hungry heart. Much have I seen and known, cities of men and manners, climates, councils, governments, myself not least. But honoured of them all, and drunk delight of battle with my peers far on the ringing plains of windy Troy. I am a part of all that I have met, yet all experience is an arch wherethrough gleams that untravelled world, whose margin fades for ever and for ever when I move. How dull it is to pause, to make an end, to rust unburnished, not to shine in use, as though to breathe were life. Life, piled on life, were all too little, and of one to me little remains. But every hour is saved from that eternal silence, something more, a bringer of new things. And vile it were for some 3 suns to store and hoard myself, and this grey spirit, yearning in desire, to follow knowledge like a sinking star, beyond the utmost bound of human thought. This is my son, my own Telemachus, to whom I leave the sceptre and the isle, well loved of me, discerning to fulfil this labour by slow prudence, to make mild a rugged people, and through soft degrees subdue them to the useful and the good. Most blameless is he, centred in the sphere of common duties, decent not to fail in offices of tenderness, and pay meet adoration to my household gods when I am gone. He works his work, I mine. There lies the port. The vessel puffs her sail. There gloom the dark broad seas. My mariners, souls that have toiled and wrought and thought with me, that ever with a frolic welcome took the thunder and the sunshine, and opposed free hearts, free foreheads. You and I are old. Old age hath yet his honour and his toil. Death closes all. But something, ere the end, some work of noble note may yet be done, not unbecoming men that strove with gods. The lights begin to twinkle from the rocks, the long day wanes, the slow moon climbs, the deep moans round with many voices. Come, my friends, 'tis not too late to seek a newer world. Push off, and smite, sitting well in order, smite the sounding furrows. For my purpose holds to sail beyond the sunset and the baths of all the western stars until I die. It may be that the gulfs will wash us down. It may be we shall touch the happy isles and see the great Achilles whom we knew. Though much is taken, much abides. And though we are not now that strength which in old days moved earth and heaven, that which we are, one equal temper of heroic hearts, made weak by time and fate, but strong in will, to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. Thanks for dropping by and letting me recite that. One of the great poems, if ever there was one.